Welcome to BioSci94. I'll start by running through some of the course logistics so that you understand what to expect this quarter and how the course will be organized. So first, let's start with the people. I'm the instructor. My name is Dr. Catherine Loudon. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology. But I'm not the only individual who will be involved in the instruction of this course. There are a number of graduate teaching assistants that are coordinating the course and are also serving as discussion section leaders. I don't have all their pictures. Here are 9 of them. Each one of you is assigned to your own discussion session, and one of these individuals, or one of the ones not pictured, will in fact be your graduate teaching assistant for the quarter. So let me go ahead and talk a little bit about what to expect in the discussion sections. They are a formal part of your grade, so attendance is very important at the discussion sessions. They're not office hours. They're in addition to office hours. All of us will be having office hours an hour a week, and the schedule is posted on the course website. So discussion sessions are not office hours. Office hours are an opportunity for students to stop by informally without appointments and ask questions, but discussion sessions are more structured. You will have an opportunity to ask questions, but there will be activities, and these are intended to be complementary, reinforcing for the material that is being covered in the lecture part of the class and also in the readings. Discussion sections do not start until week 2 of the quarter. With so many of us, communication is a real issue. So there's me, there's 12 graduate teaching assistants, and then there's over 800 students in my 2 sections of the course. To facilitate communication, then we're going to be using a message board, but this quarter we're not using the EEE message board. We're going to be using Piazza, and so hopefully this will be very convenient way for you to post questions, and we'll be checking the forums on a daily basis, and we also hope that students will respond to each other's posts as well. You will need to register for Piazza using your UCI EDU address so that we can verify that you are in fact a member of the course. Now, why is it so important to communicate via this medium? Well, consider the math here. If you consider that this quarter there are 880 students in the 2 sections, imagine having to write one email, just one, for each of the 880 students, and if the email only takes, say, 5 minutes to compose and type and then hit the send button, how long would this actually take? Well, it would take 73 hours. This is obviously a very long period of time, and it's not practical to engage in one-on-one emails. So we therefore are asking that most of the communication that is non-emergency in nature or non-personal in nature then be posted on the message boards, the Piazza message boards. This is a much more efficient way to communicate. Of course, if there is any kind of problem, you're ill, or there's some kind of emergency, please do email me directly, and I'll get back in touch with you as soon as possible. What about the textbook? This quarter we're using a brand new edition of the textbook. This is what it looks like. Scott Freeman et al.'s textbook in biological science, now in its 5th edition, which I believe has a copyright of 2014, so it's brand new. It is quite similar to the 4th edition. Here's a picture of the cover of the 4th edition, which was used 2 years ago. This is the cover for the full textbook. This is what the custom edition looked like before. This is what the full textbook with all the chapters in it, which is intended for an entire year, by the way. We make it cheaper for the students by working with the publisher to have a custom edition that only has a small subset of the chapters, about 1/3 of the chapters, which are in fact the chapters that we'll be covering during the quarter. So the custom edition, which is the paper copy of which is sold in the UCI bookstore, looks like this on the cover. You do have the option of going paper versus electronic, because if you prefer to not have a paper copy, then you may purchase access to the electronic version of the textbook, and this actually gives you access to the entire textbook, all of the chapters, not just the ones in the custom edition. And this is through the so-called Mastering Biology website, which is a website of the publisher, not of the University of California, Irvine. And we will be using Mastering Biology for a variety of different kinds of activities. These are homeworks that are help to reinforce learning and also allow you to assess the extent to which you are mastering the material. The activities in Mastering Biology are 9% of your overall grade in the course, so these are required. The various options for purchasing paper versus electronic or both are all explained in detail on the course website. Another thing on the course website that I encourage you to look at if you haven't already is the overall schedule for the course. I have posted this as a one-page PDF. It looks like this. In fact, let's go ahead and visit the course website. If we go directly to the course website, here it is. This is what it looks like. There are many different pages on the course website. This is the home page right here, which has all the instructor information, not much else. The tutors, by the way, I'll put the information on the BioSci tutors and the Lark tutors that are associated with the course as soon as I have that information. And here, this first stop here, this first page, is where one can look at the schedule for the entire quarter. So this is what we were looking at earlier. You can print this for your convenience. Here's the weeks, the days. We meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday, of course, with the dates, lecture number, the chapters in the textbook that you'll be responsible for reading. So for example, you can see that the first 2 days will be covering material from chapter 1, but also from chapter 25, and there's the topic right there. There we are. So this then is what we were just looking at on the course website. Notice that there are 3 tests in the course. The dates are already posted, so here's one, here's another one. The last third test is the final exam. They will be primarily or entirely multiple choice. If they're not all multiple choice, there'll be a combination of multiple choice and short answer. Each of the 3 tests, including the final exam, will be 24% of your overall total grade in the course. And these are the dates. They're slightly different for the final exam in the 2 sections of the course. Clickers will start on Friday. This is another part of your grade in the class, so clicker participation will be another 9% of your total overall score in the class. And note that we will drop the lowest 3 clicker scores in the quarter. Now, clicker questions will come in 2 different types. They'll either be any answer counts, and these will typically be the type of question when I'm interested in assessing whether or not you know something, or a question for which there is no correct answer, such as which form of textbook are you using? There's no right answer for that, so you would get equal credit no matter what option you picked. Other kinds of clicker questions will be graded differently depending on whether or not you actually picked the correct answer. And you will always know what kind of question that is. All the details and even examples of scoring of clicker questions is also explained in more detail on the course website. Now, you do need to register your clicker so that we can identify your clicker number with you as a student in the class. So you need to register it. The sooner the better, but you absolutely must register by January 12th. After that time, if we still don't know, if we still can't relate your clicker to your student ID, then you're going to start to lose points to give you an incentive to get registered. You cannot click in the other section. You can only click in your own section for credit, and this is because, hypothetically, a student, 2 different students in the 2 different sections could use exactly the same clicker. We just know that when it's used in this section, it's Joe, and in the other section, it's Fred. So we need to know who is using which clicker in which section. They're completely different data sets, so that's why you have to click in your own section for credit. Clicking for someone else, by the way, would be considered academic misconduct. If we see you sitting there with 5 clickers on your desk and you're clicking in for yourself and your 4 buddies who are all still asleep back in their apartment, then this is academic misconduct and we will take action. This is academic misconduct because this means the students are receiving credit for something they're not actually doing. So please don't do that. I mentioned that Mastering Biology is the publisher's website, and this will be 9% of the total score in the class. There will be regular assignments. The very first assignment is due the day after the first lecture, that is on Tuesday, January 6th. This is the assignment to just get you used to using Mastering Biology. I know that some of you have used Mastering Biology or some of the other mastering sorts of publisher interfaces with other classes, but this is a quick, simple activity to get you all used to using the interface. Now, the grading for the entire quarter for the Mastering Biology assignments will be that for every question you get 3 attempts. This doesn't mean that there's no penalty for just guessing incorrectly. In fact, you'll notice that your score will be decremented every time that you guess incorrectly. If you click on the grading policy associated with any of the assignments, this is all explained in great detail, so this is not a mystery. After the due date, you can still submit an attempt for the activity, but you will be penalized, and the specific penalty for late submission is that you'll lose 20% off the total score for every day that it is late, or for every 24-hour period that it is late. And during the quarter, we'll drop the 3 lowest scores. So don't blow off the first 3 assignments thinking, well, I can drop 3, so why don't I just go ahead and take it easy the first week. You might regret that later in the quarter if you have difficulty in an assignment, or you have some sort of computer issue that doesn't allow you to finish the assignment in a timely manner. Don't run that risk. Don't lose points unnecessarily. Go ahead and try to stay up so that if there is some sort of emergency later, you're not going to suffer points with it. And then the final component of the grade, so we've gone through the tests and the clickers and the discussion sessions and so on. The final last 1%, if you've been adding all these up, you've noticed that so far that's only 99% of the total grade in the class. The remaining 1% is participating in the evaluations at the very end of the quarter for the instructor. This is to encourage participation in this. This is the Biological Sciences office asks us to do this to encourage participation, because the evaluations are more meaningful the greater the participation. In addition, there might be additional quick surveys throughout the quarter to evaluate learning and instruction. All of these together in total will just add up to 1% of the overall points in the class. Anytime there is such a survey, you'll be sent emails. You'll always have at least a week to participate, and I'll remind you during lecture as well. And the last point about course logistics, I get a lot of questions of how do I do well in the class? I really want to do well. Well, everybody's a little bit different, so I hope that you learn what works for you. But I can tell you that students who do well in the class normally attend lecture. In part, this is also so that you don't forfeit your clicker points. Attend your discussion session. Again, more points, but also this helps you learn the material in the class, which then allows you to do better on the assessments, such as the tests. I mean, obviously I believe this, or we wouldn't waste time even having lectures or discussion sessions in the first place. We really, truly believe that this will help you learn the material, which is why we do this at all. Also, students who do well usually do read the textbook. There'll be about 30 or 40 pages of reading in the textbook per week in this course, so don't let it pile up. One of the reasons that I'm doing regular Mastering Biology assignments, or requiring that, is to encourage you to keep up on the material so that you don't suddenly, the night before the test, have to read hundreds and hundreds of pages, because you won't be able to process it effectively. So do read the textbook, keep up on it, answer the questions as you're going through. One of the nice things about this textbook is there are many points along in your reading where the textbook will stop and ask you a question. I do encourage you to stop and do these questions, and as a carrot for you, I often mull over these questions when I'm considering what kind of questions to ask on the test. So you might think, boy, this question on the test sure reminds me of that question in the textbook. I will be providing practice questions. I encourage you to do those. As you're reading, note the key concepts. And what do I mean by that? Think, what was the main point of this chapter or this section? There are, of course, tremendous clues given in just the wording of the headings for the different sections of the textbook. Other things a student can do if they're concerned about their performance in the class, you can attend office hours. There will be 13 different office hours a week between myself and the 12 graduate TAs. You could also work with a tutor, one of the BioSci tutors or one of the LARC tutors.